Welcome to Interstage Left. I'm your host, Yvette Monique Clark. This is the spot where we kick it about all things theater, from on stage to backstage and even under the stage. We're talking stories, craft, and the passion that keeps the theater world alive. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me whenever you join me, whenever I put this video up. You know what I mean? Today, we have a fabulous guest. Mr. Anthony Wayne. Yes. I'm so glad you said yes to do this with me today.
Of course.
What
How
I
are
like to
you?
do, I'm good. I'm so good. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm ready. I'm happy to be here with you.
All right. We're going to have us a good time real quick.
Come on.
I started this podcast because couple of things. I'm fascinated by the fact that we all have different stories. We come from different backgrounds. We have different ways we got into this business, and we all end up on the same stage. And I like to find out everybody's story from the footlights to the spotlights, right? So my first thing I ask is, where are you from, and how did you get to be in this business of show?
I am from Norfolk, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Richmond, but I was raised in Norfolk. And my mother put me in a children's theater group called Center Stage, run by this woman named Margie Day Walker. And she was a blues singer back in the 60s. And she felt like it was God's calling for her to come back to Norfolk, which is where she was from,
Right.
to teach children. She was a blues singer. She was like Sarah Vaughan or Ella Fitzgerald of her day. And she was
Mm-hmm.
about to be this big, big star, but she felt like God said, come back to Norfolk. And I was one of those kids that she taught at Center Stage.
Mm.
And that's how that all started. My mother saw the group performing at this place called the Fox Trap. It was like an old place where she used to like cut up, and and she she saw the group. She saw the young people performing. She saw Miss Walker wanting to like. She had this affinity for young people and wanting young people
Mm-hmm.
to succeed and be great, and um and that was kind of how it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I had the pleasure of seeing you perform years and years ago. So when I first met you, when you were doing the Color Purple in Chicago, and we drove,
Yes.
you were on the Hairspray tour, and we drove to see you. And I
Oh my
thought when I
goodness.
saw you, I was like, this man is amazing. So my next question is, when did you know that you could do all the things? Like acting, singing, and dancing. When did you know that you could do all the things?
Good question. In that group, Miss Walker was able to teach us like tap and public speaking and music. I would take piano with her brother.
Okay.
I think his name was Robert. Walker. No, 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 no. No, I'm trying to make sure I did it right. Um, there was a couple people in her group that she basically wanted to make sure that we had all the tools we needed. So
Mhm.
I would take piano, I would take voice lessons, and all of those things. And so I didn't know that all of it was pouring into the gumbo that would become me. And
Right.
so I went to another performing arts company called the Hurrah Players, and then I went to the Governor's School for the Arts. So I was kind of just a mishmash of singing, dancing, acting, and just putting it all together. I didn't know where it was going to take me. And then I did this thing called the Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities, where I met a woman named Lorraine Graves, and she kind of changed my life. And I didn't know she was a principal dancer at the Dance Theater of Harlem,
Oh,
and she taught me ballet every day, and I learned how to really dance there. Even though I had done tap and things like that, but I really learned the foundation of what I needed there. And then I went to Shenandoah University, and I
okay.
ended up majoring in musical theater with a minor in voice and piano. So I was studying opera and piano at the same time while I was taking ballet with the dance majors and taking acting lessons. So I was like a big old just mishmash of stuff. And then I trained at the Ailey School back in 2001.
Okay.
And then I was able to train at Gus Giordano Jazz Dance Chicago the next summer. And
Okay.
I had Horton and Graham and all that stuff within me, but then I went and did Luigi and Giordano and all those kinds of things. So I became just like a combination of who are you, and but music was at the heart of what I love to do. Music was the foundation of what it was. And it wasn't until it was 1999 or 98, 99, and I went to go see a production of Fosse the musical.
Mm.
And I saw it, and I saw Desmond Richardson, and I saw Jane Lanier, and I saw Valerie Pettiford and Eugene Fleming, and I saw all of those people, and I said, wow, that's what I want to do the rest of my life. And I could
Mm-hmm.
see them. I saw myself on stage with them. I saw me reflecting back to me, and I said, yeah, that's what I want to do. And it wasn't until I graduated from college and I started auditioning that I got in Fame the musical. And that's
Ah.
when I was like, this is it. This is what I could do. So that was just a run through of like kind of how it all kind of
Yeah.
all the teachers like poured into me. So, but yeah, there was a moment even when I was at church in Norfolk at First Baptist Butte Street where I was singing and people were moved in some type of way by what I was doing, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know the power of that or what that really meant. And
Mm-hmm.
so I found myself just trying to figure out how I was going to use it and be of service in some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And that came a little later.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw on your resume that you know how to clog. How
I do.
and why do you know how to clog? That's that. That I just want you to tell me that story.
That is funny. I was working at Busch Gardens, and it was the summer of '99 and the summer of 2000 as well. But there was a show that was there called a Freedom Song, and they needed dancers, and I learned how to clog. And so we clog because they have the one in Williamsburg, the Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. They
Mm-hmm.
have Fest House. They have all these different shows, things like that. It's very themed. And so they had this thing called Freedom Song, and I was performing there, and I would dance, and we kind of clogged and learned how to do that, and that was fun. So I kind of keep it in my back pocket.
Because I don't know when you'll ever use that again, but it could be useful. You know what I mean?
Listen, for the right check, right,
Clog away, clog
right,
away.
uh-huh. That's so funny.
um, how do you keep yourself motivated when you're not in a show? Um, what do you do to stay in your craft or keep yourself um in it? Is the best way I can like say. How do you do that? You know, the dry times.
Yeah, the dry times. I've learned how to pivot. I learned how
Ah.
to make a mountain out of a molehill, if you will.
Mhm.
I I wrote a musical some time ago, and I learned how to produce, and I learned how to create space where there's not space. I think a lot of times in the shows that you're talking about, when I was on Broadway, even actually when I met you, I was doing Color Purple at the time,
Mhm.
but I left that tour to go do a chorus line. And
Mhm.
ever since then, I found myself back on Broadway, but being the only black man in the space.
Mhm.
And a
Mhm.
lot of times I didn't understand what that meant, being in the space and the power of people watching me and understanding that, that I was on the shoulders of others before me. So what I did was I created a nonprofit in
Okay.
2020. It's called Black Broadway Men. And what we
Oh, I
do
know.
is yeah, we
Yeah.
celebrate, educate, and motivate Black men of the Broadway and theater community by creating unity with each other, finding strength through educational opportunities, and embracing the legacy of those that have come before us. Because we are the
Yes.
legacy for those to come after us. And a lot of times I felt like I needed community. And I didn't just want to see Black men in the club or in competition, you know.
Right.
That's the only way
Right.
that I knew them, and so I had some really beautiful mentors like Ken Page and Adrian
Mhm.
Bailey, and people who have since passed and people who are still here who have kind of taken me under their wing, black men specifically. And so
Right.
I wanted to kind of be that, be like kind of the bridge for those that are coming and for those that have gone before us, because
Right.
there was a there's a there's a bunch of men who are not with us, who left, who passed away because of the AIDS epidemic,
Mm-hmm.
um, who now would be between the ages of late 50s, early 60s to, let's say, mid 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's an obligation for me to use my time, my downtime, to be um, a vessel, and using kind of the space that I have and the space that I am and the space that I think places that I am to give people access.
Right. Right.
So that's what I do. I'm the founder, executive director of Black Broadway Men, and I really enjoy it.
So do you have seminars? Do you have classes or point young black men into the right direction? Oh, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the conversation came from what do we need?
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about being purpose driven, even in my scene work, even
Mm-hmm.
when I'm auditioning for movies or TV or anything like that, or
Mm-hmm.
theater. I'm like, what are we doing, and what is the purpose? And
Right.
so when I thought of Black Broadway Men, and I started creating, and I gathered a group of guys together who are the founding members, and I kept asking them, what do we need? What do you need? I know what I need and what I want. And
Right.
so one of the main things that we needed was using our voices. How are we going to use our voice in the best way? So we created a playwriting initiative, which is now the Jesse L. Kearney Black Broadway Men Playwriting Initiative, where we give one person a 29-hour reading, but we surround them with Black men who are playwrights, who are directors, dramaturgs,
Mm-hmm.
stage managers, casting directors, and we give them a
Mm-hmm.
29-hour reading. We have a partnership now with Dramatists Guild. We have a partnership with Signature Theater and Manhattan
Yes.
Theater Club, where they provide a space to be able to do that. So
Yes.
I'm really grateful for that. So I wanted to shout them out. But we give them a 20-hour reading, and those that do not win the initiative, we give them a seminar. Right now, we have 80 people who have signed up. Now, 12 people are finalists. And now we pick 5 people to be
Mm.
the finalists. But I
Right.
want to shout out Ahmad Simmons and Calvin Thompson, who are the co-head of that. And
Okay.
um, and there was a guy before who got his name is Chris Eli Black, and he received the first one, and now he's writing for like TV and film and all these things. And we have Matthew Johnson Harris was the director of that one, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just been a really beautiful. Rashad Naylor was the casting director. We had beautiful space for people to just surround Chris with joy, and he's gone on to do other things. So we provide a playwriting initiative. We also have something called the Hinton Battle Day of Dance, which celebrates the
Oh,
life of Hinton Battle, and we have a day. It's May 30th, as a matter of fact. It's coming up.
okay.
We do it where we have ballet, Horton, tap, commercial dance, and Fosse, and we get Black men who are all who knew or inspired by Hinton Battle to teach
Mm-hmm.
all the work. And so they teach, it's open and it's free, and people can go to
Okay.
like dayofdanceny.com and just go and take class. And I'm excited. We also give scholarships to those who come, scholarships
Okay.
from BDC, from the Fosse Estate, and from uh, BDC Fosse, and Steps, and yeah. So we just try to provide opportunity and access. And then we do these things called the mixers, where we just have Black men come together, and we do events where we all like just kind of inspire and encourage each other. We have
Right.
people like Billy Porter,
Mm-hmm.
and as well as Wayne Brady, Ben
Mm-hmm.
Vereen,
Oh,
and
wow.
Andre DeShields. People who just come and talk to these younger folk and let them know what time was like. But we also
Right.
want them to know what the younger people are going through, and try to let them know that whatever you're going through, you're never alone.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, those are just some
Yeah.
of the things we do.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. We're on that vein of guiding. So, what's the best advice you got in your early days, or even now? Just what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Keep working.
Mm.
That's what Ben Marine told me. He told me years ago I was doing Pippin, and he had come to see the show. And I pulled him aside and I said, sir, I said, what would you tell a young black man? Because in Pippin, I was like the only black man on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know like what he thought. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell a young black man who's coming up kind of like, under your wing? He said, keep working. And I didn't know what he meant at the time, so I left it with questions. But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, and that was like back in 2013, 2014. And so I
Mm-hmm.
found myself wondering what he meant. But over the years, I realized it meant like keep working on yourself, keep working on your craft, keep working on your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and keep taking care of yourself. So just continue to
Yes.
keep working and keep working in the business, keep staying
Yes.
relevant, and yeah, that's kind of the best advice. Some of the best advice I've gotten.
Yeah. Um, in the early days of performing, we always I think we give too much of ourselves because we don't know what kind of performer or what kind of human we're going to be, right? In this
Mm-hmm.
business.
Hmm.
So from your younger self to now, what do you do to protect what did you learn to protect your emotional, mental, and your peace?
Wow. Well, it wasn't until about 2017, 2018 when I started learning that myself. Because
Mm,
after I left Pippin, I wrote a musical called Mighty Real, a fabulous Sylvester musical based on the life of Sylvester. And I
mm-hmm,
started producing and traveling around the country and, you know, doing the things and writing my own checks and writing checks for other people and just kind of getting
mm-hmm,
caught up in the numbers
mm-hmm,
as opposed to staying inundated in the colors. And I
mm.
found myself losing the passion that I had to take care of myself.
Yes.
So I stopped a lot back in 2017, 2018, and I just had to pause life for a minute because it was just going so fast. I had been in like Broadway
Yes.
show, Broadway show, Broadway show, and a lot of times you're doing everything with everybody else. So much so, even doing the Sylvester show where I didn't know myself, and I had to stop feeling guilty for being selfish and take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like if I stopped to take care of myself, that other things would fall apart or
Right.
nobody else would get what they needed. So I
Right.
began to actually really take care of me. And
Right.
so I had, the things that I do, prayer, of course, sleep, the finding you somewhere and sat down, like my grandma would say. And right.
Amen.
Yeah. And then I started doing things for myself. Like I get my hair cut every week.
Mm-hmm.
Every week I get my hair cut. I get my nails done every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I get
Yes.
my feet massaged.
Yes.
And I just basically like really find things that make me happy to take care of myself. And then
Right.
I surround myself, that's the second part of it, with those that I deem worthy of the access to me.
Ah. Oh, wait a minute. Worthy of the accent. I know I can run this tape back, but I need to write that down right now. Worthy of the accent. Uh-huh.
Everybody, everybody is not worthy of the access. And it's funny because we get in these shows and we perform and we give so much of ourselves. Even at the stage door, you're still giving of yourself. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're out with the cast and you're enjoying this, you're enjoying them. They're not your friends, they're coworkers or colleagues or comrades, however you want to call them. Some of them may be your friends because there's a couple I look at, I be like, oh yeah, me and you, once this closed,
Right.
me and you still gonna be,
Right. Right. I got
yeah.
some of them. I
Then
got some of them. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
about one or two of them in every show I find But but most of them I'll just kind of keep up with. Maybe I'll, say a hey on the Instagram or say
Mm-hmm.
something in the group text if there's one made. That's
Right.
probably muted. But I probably but I try to make sure that I keep those close. Back in 2020, round about
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, round about the time I started Black Broadway Men,
Right.
I realized I didn't have friends. I have a best friend. We've been best friends for 25 years, but I didn't have any friends. And if I did have friends, it was people that I like used to talk to or people that I knew of or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided I was intentional in connecting with a specific group of friends, specific people, and I
Mm-hmm.
brought them together. And I decided to do this one night where we would do. I said, hey, can you all just come to my house? It was four other guys. I said, come to my house, bring magazines, and I went and got like poster board, and I got we had magazines, and I got scissors and things, and we had a vision board party.
Wow.
And I said, tell, like, let's sit together because I knew that their energy would be cohesive. And I said,
Right.
we had food and drink and hung out and stuff, and we
Right.
all cut stuff. We stayed up for hours and hours and hours. And I was like, let's share what we feel like where you were in the last year, where you are now, and where you want to be, and
Right.
cut it all out and put on the thing. And so we've been doing that for the past 6 years.
Wow.
And every day or every other day, we stay in a group text and we keep each other accountable.
Wow.
So I enjoy my friend group. I'm very specific with who I deem close, and I'm just very cautious about who I allow to pour into me and who I pour into. I also
Right.
try to make sure that I make space for people that I don't know. Sometimes
Yes.
I will go and support people I don't know. Like, for example, I'll go see a chorus line at, like, I don't know, at a theater that, people don't think that people are going to come to. Matter of fact, I was in Lancaster doing Elf last winter,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing I think it's the Dutch Apple Dinner Theater. They
That's
were doing a
happening.
chorus line,
Mm-hmm.
and I went, and I just went because I went by myself, and I got a little ticket, and I wrote the guys that were on Instagram, and I said, "Hey, my name is Anthony Wayne. You don't know me, but I'm doing Elf up the street, and I'm here to support you and have a great show, and I would love to see you after." And they came after, and we took a picture, and we had the best time. And I just wanted to let them know they're supported. I told them to follow Black Broadway Men, and
Right.
that if they come to New York, hit me up, and we'll connect.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was that guy. I was that young guy in Norfolk, like seeing shows come through the Chrysler Hall and wanting to be on stage, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody just looking to be seen, loved, and heard.
Yes. It
So
sounds simple, but it's not always easy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I
that's
agree
what I
with
do
that.
in my spare time. So I'm sorry if I was long winded.
No, no, no. This is your interview. You're supposed to do the talking. This is
Got
for
it.
you.
Got it.
I totally understand the access because when I first started, I started later on in life. And
Hmm.
so I didn't know what I was doing. So I talked to everybody and I had everybody talking to me. And then I was like, I can't do all this. I need. So
Hmm.
I learned rather rapidly that you can't talk to everybody and everybody can't talk to you. Um,
Yeah, because their intentions are probably not right.
no, 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 they're not.
Yeah, but that's their
They're not.
stuff.
Yeah, that's their stuff, and I don't want no parts of it. Um, I I remember when you were doing Mighty Real,
Mm,
and I want to talk to you about that because people,
okay.
want to produce their own stuff, and it's a scary thing to step out on your own, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, so you wrote it, the music and the script, or you had somebody write the lyrics? Well, like, how did this all happen?
It was 2010. I had just finished doing the tour of a chorus line, and I didn't
Mhm.
know what I was going to do. So, an incredible person named he's gonna kill me. Wait, I got it. It's coming.
Take your time.
Oh, it's Lee Summers. Lee Summers is a performer. He did Broadway. He's done all the things. He's a producer. He has something called the Just a Piano concert series,
Hmm.
and at the Triad Theater on 72nd Street. And he would provide the space, and he would have you come and sing and play, like have somebody play the piano for you. You would come with music, and you would sell the tickets, and you would get a percentage of the house, which is
Right,
how I learned how to kind of produce at first.
right,
And so it was up to me to book me. They booked me a date, and I would just sell the tickets. So during this time, what I was doing to make money was performing at at the Triad, making money selling the tickets, using the money to like pay my rent or what have you.
Right.
While I was there, I remember seeing, I was at home and I was watching Unsung on TV1, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a show about Sylvester, and I found out about him and I started singing his songs, and I didn't realize that my voice is kind of similar to his, how
Right.
like singing up there in the rafters and staying up there because I've been doing
Right.
chorus line for a year and a half, so my voice was really warm up there,
Right.
and so I decided to do. I was going to do a concert about his music, and by this point, I had gotten Anything Goes on Broadway, which was my Broadway debut in 2011. So I couldn't really do that. But by that point, I met my partner at the time, and I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to him, and he was in theater, but he was in fashion stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then I started writing out the structure because by that point I left Anything Goes to do Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which was my second
Okay.
Broadway show on Broadway
Okay.
before they closed, like the last 6 months. And while I was
Okay.
there, I met Jacqueline B. Arnold and Anastasia McCluskey. And when they
Mm-hmm.
come down at the beginning of Priscilla, my partner and I were watching the show because I was about to go into the show. And at the beginning, they come down and they're singing It's Raining Men. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, this is crazy. So I go into the dressing room, and they'll tell you the story too. I go into the dressing room, and I had like a script, but it was all written out. It was all just like it wasn't really edited. It was just like my ideas of how I wanted it to
Right.
work out. And I said, "Do y'all know Sylvester?" And they were like, "Yeah, we know Sylvester. What do you want?" And I was like, "Oh, well, y'all be. I'm going to do a concert. Y'all want to be my weather girls?" They said, "Yeah, yeah, okay, whatever." So, so I drug them down to Brooklyn, and I found this guy who was going to like put the music together, and we would have these vocal rehearsals. It was myself, Anastasia, Jackie, and Rashidra Scott and Antoine Smith.
Okay.
And we went and we rehearsed, and we started doing that work. And then July 29th, 2012, we did our first performance. And my partner by this time had come on board to be like my director or kind of like my
Right.
co-director, just the
Right.
eyes outside. And we did it at Le Poisson Rouge down in the Village. And then we did it again a second time, and a couple other people joined us, as background vocalists and things, and then it just grew. We had one person come and see the show and say, "Are you guys going to just continue doing this, or are you going to take it further?" And so we did a Kickstarter, raised some money, and decided to take it off Broadway. How do we do that? I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we just went and found it. Right. We found a theater. We raised money. We raised probably like $20,000 from my friends and Kickstarter. Bought all the weeks for the theater. Got a lawyer. Cleared all the music. Next thing you know, September 2014, we were running off Broadway. And I had found by that point, I think Kendrell was tweeting. Yeah, his name is Kendrell. Sorry. His name is Kendrell Bowman. That was my producing partner's name. And so Kendrell was tweeting, and he tweeted Shirley Ralph, and she came on board, long story short, as a
Mm-hmm.
co-producer. And from there, it was kind of like the three of us kind of making it how it happened. And so that was a journey. And so we're still working on it, still doing some things with this to have
Okay.
some
Good.
little more work to do and producing.
Right.
But yeah, I think that I just needed to pause because I needed some time for me. But also, I think the world needed to catch up on the idea of trans, non-binary people
Mm-hmm.
who are
Yes.
influential. So now you have Cats, the Jellicle Ball, you have,
Yes.
other stories and shows where people are open to investing in something that's different, that's kind of
Right.
niche, then
Right.
finding the audience and things like that. Because
Right.
yeah, I think the audience is ready for it, but it's gonna happen really soon. So I'm excited.
That's what's up. So I'm producing a new cabaret for myself, and I'm going bananas, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be awesome, awesome, awesome,
Okay.
awesome.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm always I'm fascinated how people jump out. And I did a cabaret years and years ago, but it was really small, one piano, done right. But this is gonna be completely different, and it's like. So I always like to pick people's brains and like, how'd you do it? So did you have to when you're trying to get the show up just to do it the first time, what did you have to like? Did you have to cut something? Did you have to budget something? Did you have to say, But I can't have those silver platform shoes because they $92. Like, what did you have to cut to make it work?
Well, you mean the Sylvester show or my
Yeah,
own
Sylvester
concert?
show. Sylvester show.
Um, I, well, back then, I don't know. We were just throwing everything but the kitchen sink. We were just figuring it out in real time. I'm serious. Like, if something didn't work, we'll throw it out and find something new. You know, we had to figure it out, but it was more about the structure.
Okay.
The structure of the music, the costume, the sets, the lights, like we had to kind of cut things out. So yes, like I know I had to go over to PRG to get the lights and things.
Right.
And then we had to go to over then we drove over to Rose Brand and went and got some Dubatine to put in the back to cover
Right.
up the back. And so instead of having the company ship it to us, we got a U-Haul and went over and got it ourselves and
Uh-huh.
drove back across the city and found up some money that we had to just make it happen and stored everything in storage or put it
Right.
put it in the U-Haul the day before and found a bunch of our friends to help and bring it in instead of hiring people to
Right.
help
Right.
and put it in. So the load in and the load out, that was a lot of
Right.
work. Then we had
Yes.
to repaint the floor of the theater. It was a lot, but it
Right.
was
Yeah.
worth it. It was worth it because
Yes.
then we ended up taking it around the country. We ended up realize the things that we needed and the things that we didn't. And
Yeah.
and so, but it's different though because this is a musical. This is a big
Yeah.
musical. It was structured in a way where it was 90 minutes of music, but it was storytelling weaved in between. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that framing and structure, I decided to write a solo concert called Just Me, Anthony Wayne Live. And so now I tour that around the country, and it's myself, it's three background singers, and then I have I have a 7-piece band. Is the drum, guitar, bass, my MD who plays the piano, and then I have the trumpet, guitar, and saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
So but most times when I'm traveling around, I give the charts to the people who are in the city. And then I
Okay.
just bring myself, the three background singers, my director, and my MD. So it's six of us. So
Right.
sometimes you do have to kind of cut some things out in order to make some things happen.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but yeah, it's a balancing act of figuring out what works and what you need because you are the show at the end of the day. But you also
Yes.
you want the projections to look right, you want the sound to be right, you want the music to be
Right.
right. So that's why
Right.
I'm like I have to bring my MD and I have to bring my director because I have learned that I can't do everything.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
okay to say no and to say, you know what, I'm going to spend the money and spend the extra time to have somebody else do something.
I'm gonna call somebody.
Yeah. And I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna take a nap
Go on somewhere. Um,
somewhere and sit down.
how long are you still doing Just Me, or when did you put that your own show up, and how long did you do it, or if you're still doing it?
Back in 2024, I did it. I think it was August of 2024. I did it at the Green Room 42,
Okay.
and that was like the first time I did it. But I had been talking about it for years, and
Okay.
I met a guy named Rufus Bonds Jr., who's legendary, and I met him back in '07. He was
Mhm.
Mister in the Color Purple tour,
Okay.
and he and I became really, really close. He became like a big brother, father figure to me.
Right.
And so we stayed close. And I remember while I was doing Sylvester, probably like around in 2012, no, 2014, 15, he had said, I had told him that I had these ideas about a show. And he was like, well, Anthony, when you're ready to tell the truth, let me know.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. And at the time, I really wasn't ready to open up and be vulnerable. And that's
Yeah.
a very important key when you're performing and doing a cabaret show or something like that. You
Yes.
got to be real. You got to be honest. And if you don't
Yes.
know you, then how are you going to expect everybody else to?
Mm-hmm.
Because they can see
Yeah.
straight through it. I know when I go see
Mhm.
a cabaret and somebody just wants me to be inundated by their voice, I'm like, they sound nice, but I still don't know who you are. Why are you
Yes.
here? And why am I here? So, um,
Yes.
so I did. So he and I had talked for a couple of years, like talking, just trying to write down what it could be and what the ideas were. And then I stopped for a little while. And then I came back to him in 2020, about 2022, 23.
Mhm.
And I said, I think I'm ready. And he said, okay. So we talked even some more. And then the winter of 24, I was doing, what was I doing? I was doing Beauty and the Beast
Mhm.
at up at up in Vermont, at this theater in Vermont. And I would just sit with him and just FaceTime with him, and we would talk for hours about what it could be. And then we ended up, was it 23, 24? It doesn't matter. We ended up evolving what we did in August
Right.
of 24. And then in February of 25, I ended up doing another, I did it at Joe's Pub.
Okay.
And it was the first time I did it kind of at that level.
Right.
And
Right.
it wasn't less about me telling people about how I was feeling, and more about getting people to understand what the feeling is and connecting it to what something that
Right.
they would relate to.
Right.
So that's when they did it. And then Joe's Pub was like, because we sold out, they were like, can you come back again? And so now I tightened it and I made it a little better and made it,
Right.
I added a
Right.
singer. I had two singers before. Now I added three because I needed more voices. And I just made it
Mhm.
like much tighter and more relatable. And yeah, it never stops. The work never stops. And so to answer your question, I'm booking it around the country and doing different things just so that people just don't think of me as a high singer who dresses up and is a queen, you know. Because you can get pigeonholed. I mean, I think, to be
Yes.
honest, that was how it was for me over some years, being in so many Broadway shows and being in the
Mhm.
ensemble of Broadway shows and doing workshops for other shows. People just see you as that, but I realized that I allowed them to see me as that. And so in
Mhm.
2023, I did the Tina Turner musical. 23? 22, I'm sorry. 22, I did Tina Turner musical. And I had a role in that. And I was like, you know what? I need to start trusting myself.
Mhm.
I read this book by Jan Lebanzan called Trust, and it
Mm.
changed my life a little bit. It was about
Mhm.
trusting, kind of similar to like Keep Working. It was more about trusting God, trusting spirit, trusting yourself, trusting what you can do. And that's what the people behind the table want to see when you audition. They want to see if
Yes.
they can trust you with their show.
Yes. Yes.
And if you don't trust yourself with coming in off book, knowing your songs and knowing your intentions and what you're doing, then how you expect them to trust you to lead the show?
That's right. That's right.
So
It's
that's the way
yeah.
I come now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, no, you good. You good. You good. The audition process. Do you find it? COVID changed a lot of things. And it took us a long time to even attempt to go back into the room.
Hmm.
Are you a face to face? Are you better face to face, or does self tape just as good for you, or not so good for you?
Self tape is a little work. I mean, it's fine. It does what it
Mm-hmm.
needs to do, but I much rather play opposite someone. The
Yeah.
hardest thing is actually going in the room and talk and speaking to the reader, because the readers
Mm-hmm.
are over here, and
Right.
the people
And
are
they're over
judging you
here.
in front of you, and you're trying to like emote and trying to sing, and the pianist is over here, and it's like the room is big, and now you have to be big, as opposed to like you're in your house and you're comfortable and you
Mm-hmm.
really want to lay down, take a nap,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and you want to get that food that you order and it's over there, but now you gotta have this ring light and you gotta mess with this
Yeah.
phone, and then the dog over like the dog is over here just like wondering what you
Oh, this is
like.
your puppy.
The dog is over here like, hey, what are you doing? I want to eat. Let's go outside. And you're like, I gotta record this thing. And he's like, I don't care. so, and so like you're doing all these things in this
Yeah.
house, and then you're like, you gotta crop it, you gotta edit it, you gotta figure out like if it works or not, which one you like, which one they're gonna like. It's a mess.
It
But
is. It
but you figure it
is.
out. You figure it
Yes.
out.
The COVID, I learned a lot of things about lighting and sound, and um, I have a little studio down here,
Mm-hmm.
um, and added things as we went along. And I was like, well, now I gotta edit. I just sing. I ain't a camera person. I don't know how to put the words on the little in the video. We had to learn how to do all of that, and I had time because
Yeah.
we ain't had nowhere to go. So,
But here's the thing. The thing that gets me is how we limit ourselves. I
hmm
think that blows my mind. How we limit
yeah,
ourselves, because now I see myself as a actor, singer, dancer, producer. Yes, but I'm also like a founder. I'm also like a creator. I also know how to do these different things. It's like if you don't know how to, then educate yourself. Just learn.
yes, yes,
You're never too never too old to learn. And so you learn how to do the lights, you learn how to do the sets, you learn how to cut the camera on, you learn how to figure it out. You learn that's it's like how much you invest in learning how to tap dance or do your voice lessons or what have you.
or
And the
clog.
crazy or a clog. The crazy thing is that they only it's like when I'm teaching my students and I'm like, why are you just learning Hamilton now? Why are you just learning Brigadoon now? Why are you just learning The Color Purple now? These shows have been around for years. And here you
hmm
go, just learning it just because you got an audition for it and it's next week. So now you want to go in the library and you want to watch it at the New York Public Library. And now you want to suck it on and see it all on YouTube. Now you want to learn how to speak Cockney and how to do all this. You want to change over, change. You want to speak British now because the part requires you to be British. It's like,
Right,
you could have did that long time ago when the pressure wasn't on.
right.
You could have, you can learn to speak French whenever you want to.
Yes, you can. Whenever
And
you
then people are
want.
like, "Do you speak French?" I'm like, "Yeah, I speak French because I've made the time and invested the time in learning how to do that." So, yeah, I think that's even when I tell people when you don't have your downtime, go jump in the acting studio, go do some repetition, do some Meisner, figure out how to do something. Go read a play, go read a couple of plays. And,
hmm
and don't just read them just because you say, "Oh, this is a part for me." Read it because you think that it will really it's something you didn't know about. Like, why not challenge yourself to read the whole 10 cycle play of August Wilson? Read all 10 of them
My
just
Shakespeare.
because.
Shakespeare. hmm
Go get you a Shakespeare book and read the sonnets. Read everything that has to do with Shakespeare. Like, get you a nice little complete abridged works and understand like something that will make you different and you unique.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but I think we just get used to the work that they give us, and they're not going to give us more than what we need.
I
They're
don't
not going to
think
give us much. Go ahead.
I don't think they're not giving us what we need. They don't know what we need because we don't know how to ask the right questions to get it.
That's true. That's
Right?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Until you get to a certain age and you're like what you need, what you won't do, what you will do. And I think that was the gift of me coming in as a single mom. I either gonna do
Hmm.
it or I'm not. I don't have time. So here's where I'm at. Right? So
Yeah. 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 And
this
but
is
it becomes kind of on the job training
yeah, it was. It definitely was. It definitely was. You know,
because nobody's going to be able to teach you how to take care of your child.
no, no.
Or teach you how to learn your tap steps or
hmm
your voice. Like nobody can teach you how to make your voice do what it does. Your voice does what it does, but you can have somebody train it
Yes,
to do something
yes,
great.
yes, absolutely. So I did everything backwards. I jumped in and started doing it, and I ain't know nothing about it. And I was like, I'm here. I could sing.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's
but
that's
the
all
thing,
I
but
had
I
at the
think,
time.
but what I was sharing is it makes you much more valuable when
Yes,
when you're when you learn more.
yes.
And then the crazy thing is that they realize that you learn more, and then they realize they can't get over on you.
hmm
Specifically when you know your value and what you
Yes,
bring to things.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
I
for
don't
the
just
young
take
people,
any money.
go ahead, baby. Yeah. Oh, all money ain't good money.
Yeah, like some things I'll do for free because I care and because I can.
Yes.
Some things I like if you offer me $200 and it's something I really really want to do, I'll do it. But if you offer me like $1,000 some odd dollars and it's in a space where I know that with people that I know I don't want to work with
Yeah.
or something I
Yeah.
feel like I'm gonna like be doing too much, I'll say no.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I
That's
have.
part of protecting my peace that we talked about earlier. What were you gonna
Yes.
say?
Yes. I got to do the mountaintop some years ago. And I was like, when am I going to get to do the mountaintop? And I worked for
Hmm.
5 nickels. And I was like, let me get my 5 nickels, please. Thank you. It was the happiest
Yeah.
5 nickels I ever had in my life. And I was like, I got to do it with
Yeah.
Curtis Wiley. And I was like, yeah, give me these 5 nickels right here. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I took it. And I started understand what you're saying. It's like, I, I had to do it. Like, I had to do it. And then some people will give me an opportunity. I was like, this show is foolishness. I don't want. Mm-mm. You keep that check. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah. Another thing I'll share is before we head out, I think that you asked me about earlier is the power of your no.
Mm-hmm.
I say no. No. And people be like, what do you mean no? No.
It's a complete sentence.
I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It sure is
You
a
don't even
complete
have to
sentence.
follow up with that. No, it's a complete sentence. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
No.
And they're like, okay, thank you. Have a good day. I was working on something not long ago, and a young woman was asked to do something outside of her what she was asked to do initially. And
Uh-huh.
she's sitting there and she's just like fretting over it. And she's just like, I don't know what to say. And I said, girl, what you mean you don't know what to say? She said, I don't know. They want me to do X, Y, and Z, and they want me to sing this and do this, and I didn't know about this. I said, well, did you tell them no? And
Mm.
she said, no. I said, well, did you ask them for more money? She said, no. I said, well, girl, I wish you well. God bless you. That'll learn you. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
because you knowing the value of your worth will allow you to be in spaces that you want to be
Yeah.
and do things that you believe are worthy of your time.
Yes.
But
But
sometimes
we have
that takes time. What are you gonna say?
yes. Yes. And it takes time because that's what I share with I'm usually like one of the old people in the show. And so I share with the children, listen, I know that you are afraid that if you say no, you won't ever work again.
Right.
Lies and propaganda.
For sure.
If you just say no and you are respectful in that, they're like,
Hmm.
well, you know what your limitations are, right? Like,
Hmm.
what if I don't
Hmm.
want? I said, honey, please. They're not going to remember that you said no to this person in theater X 5 years ago. Stop it. But a lot of us, a lot of people, especially us in our community, did things that got us hurt in the show because we were afraid we won't work again. Injuries and nodes and craziness because we're trying to keep working because we're scared that we won't get another job. And that's a
Hmm.
legitimate fear, right? But
Hmm.
I tell the young people, those 2 letters can change your life, right?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
or save it.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah. Period. And when you understand that, and when you
Mhm.
literally know what you bring to it, then it'll shift everything. So thank God for experience.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do have to go through it.
You
You
do.
got to go through it.
You
You
have
and
to
you
go
and you got
through
to.
it.
And here's another thing: we have to let them go through it.
That's the hard part. I want to help all the babies. I don't want them
Yeah,
to go
that's
through the
nice.
nonsense.
Mm-mm. Go on. Go on. Have your way. Go and learn the lesson. It's like
That's the
that's
mama.
that stove is hot.
Mm.
The stove is hot. The
One
stove is
time I
hot. I'm telling you, the stove is hot.
yes.
Okay. Go on, then they
Yes.
come back. I burnt myself. Okay, well, let me go get some Vaseline. I told you the stove was hot.
My son has a burn on his hand to this day because he
Good.
didn't believe that the grill was hot.
But he know the grill hot now.
Yes.
But he gonna tell somebody else the grill is hot.
The grill is
Look,
hot.
he better look. See, and you know what that person gonna say? I'm gonna find out if the grill is hot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. God bless him. You know why? Because we found out that the grill was hot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes, we did. I still want to
Yeah.
help the babies. I do something at the end of every show called Stage Left Quickies, right? Where I ask rapid fire questions. You just give me 1 word answer, 2 word answers. Nothing scary, nothing, But I just like to end it on like a fun note, right? So
Okay.
here we go.
Okay.
What's a role you secretly redo? Redo.
Like I rewrite, or I want to be I
No,
want
you
to
would
be.
do it again. You said, what's a role that you would want to do done and want to do again?
Oh, good question. Oh, Bert and Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's adorable. A director's note that lives rent free in your head.
uh,
Why does it sound like a good
uh,
story?
uh, Anthony, you doing too much. Match everybody else.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand that. Um, Harder now, the audition or the stamina?
What was it? What was the two?
Harder. Which one is harder? The
Oh,
audition or the stamina?
the stamina.
Mm-hmm. Broadway, regional, or wherever the good work is.
Broadway regional.
Okay. All right. Um,
Yeah, I've enjoyed that more now because there's a not that you asked me for explanation, but I feel
Shoot.
like there's a freedom that you get when you're not in the city. You can do what you want to do. Ain't nobody judging you. You know, you're not in the New York Times that you did it this way. It's like, dog. At least you know you in like the New York Magazine or
Yes, yes, indeed. What's changed more, you or the industry?
me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Do you have another? Or was that's the
Nope.
last one?
Just want to thank
Oh
you
no, I'm
for
grateful and
coming
thank
and
you.
sitting with me and kicking
Yeah.
it. It wasn't it. That
Of
was fun.
course.
I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I had a good time with you. I enjoy you. I enjoy Interstage Left. I think it's a smart idea. I think it's an exciting,
Oh man, are you
and I'm thrilled
frozen?
to be a part. Oh,
No
am I
way,
frozen? You
not
see me?
now.
You see me?
Okay, I got you. Yes,
Yeah,
I see you
but
now.
I
You can't
enjoy
fool
stage
me.
left, Interstage Left. I'm grateful for you and thankful for asking me to be a part. I'm thrilled. It's so interesting. You asked me what's different or what's changed the industry or me, and I think I've evolved to allow universe, God, whatever you want to believe, to just be.
Mm-hmm.
But I've tried to stay more present. So I'll share this. My mother passed away the in February of 2013,
I
and
remember.
I've been
I remember.
thank you
Mm-hmm.
for that, by the
You're
way.
welcome.
And I remember trying to trying to now take as many pictures and live in the moment as best I can with
Yes.
those that I deem worthy. Because I kind of wish I had more time with her. But I
Yes.
know she lives with me for real forever, and I know some of us may know what that feels like, to
Right.
lose a parent or what have you.
Yes.
One of the things that I've been able to do is understand that my trajectory is what it is and what it's going to be.
Right.
Like gratefully, I'm able to move in spaces. Like for example, I'm about to do La Cage aux Folles at City Center,
Which
and
I'm coming to see on June 17th. I saw that on your resume too. I'm in the building.
please go. And so I'm standby for Billy Porter and Wayne Brady.
Right.
And it's interesting because I'm realizing how much joy I get from being a student and learning and being in the room. I was able to stand by for Dule Hill and Daniel for at Lights Out, the Nat King Cole musical play at New York Theater
Right.
Workshop.
Yes.
And so I've just been, it's like God is preparing me for where he's about to take me.
Yes. Yes,
And
sir.
so it is okay to live right there under the radar. You know, I enjoy my
Mm-hmm.
anonymity. I enjoy I can walk down the street, I can go to the movies, I can do whatever
Right.
without being seen. You know,
Yes.
I kind of really enjoy Coleman's trajectory. I
Yes.
really do. That he did all the work and prepared him for where he is
Yes.
now.
Yes.
You know, but he can't just go anywhere now because people
No,
will
he
like
can't go nowhere. He
inundate him.
can't go nowhere.
Yeah, but
No.
before he was able to, so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just at my just before state, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
enjoying where I'm at, and I look forward to seeing you at La Koch because it's going to be magical. Like both
Yeah.
Billy and Wayne and the entire company is going to do
Yes.
beautiful
I
work, and I'm
worked with
happy
Robert
to
O'Hara
be a
4
part of it.
times.
With who?
So I've worked with Robert O'Hara 4 times.
Oh,
So that's
I
that's my boy.
I have not worked with him yet, but I saw him on the train and we talked because we were talking about the
Yeah.
script, and he seems like a good person. He seems like he's really about the work, and I love that.
Yes. He's the actor. He's an actor's director.
Here for it.
Yeah.
Because
He's an
without all the music and the dancing and all that stuff, you got what's the book? What's the story? Why are we here?
What's the heart of the
Next,
show?
yeah. Why are we here? Like, what's the root of
Right.
why we're doing what we're doing?
Right.
And I like to strip all that down anyway and get down to the
Yeah.
to the to the meat of why we're here and why we're
Yeah.
singing this song.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I can't sing something I don't understand. I still haven't learned
yeah,
to do that yet. I have not
yeah,
learned how to.
but then there are also actors who sing, and I'm still like, you still need to sing the right notes, honey. We still need to keep you on pitch, darling. Yeah, know, know what you're singing and know what you're saying. Know what you're saying and know what you're singing.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
it's a
my goodness.
combination,
Yes, it goes together. It goes together. Yeah.
right? What I call
Um,
musical theater.
it's a sandwich. Um, Thank you, Anthony
Of
Wayne,
course,
for
of
being here
course.
with me today. It was fun. I laughed. My cheeks hurt. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but thank you and bye. I'll see you in a couple of
Oh,
months.
yes, and everybody continue watching Interstage Left right
Thank
here
you.
with Miss Yvette. Ow.
Ow.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, darling. Bye.
Take care. I'll see you soon.
Yes. Mwah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.